Well, good evening, everyone. I'm Russ Rusiger from MTN News. We want to thank you for joining us tonight for Stopping the Flood of Misinformation, a special statewide town hall here on the MTN network that we're presenting as a part of National News Literacy Week. We've got a great panel here tonight that I want to introduce to you. We've got Dr. Jamie Belsky. She's the chair of the emergency department at the Billings Clinic. Lee Banville is a University of Montana journalism professor. He was formerly editor-in-chief of the online news hour at PBS. Daryl Ehrlich is the editor-in-chief of the Daily Montana, does a lot of great reporting. He's also spent a lot of time traveling the state, speaking on the topic of misinformation. And Ashley Nerbovig is a freelance journalist. She's also a UM grad, I should mention. She covered the 2020 election. She wrote specifically about the topic of misinformation for the Detroit Free Press. Looking forward to hearing from all of you tonight and from our viewers as well. You know, every day it seems we are bombarded with information. New technology bring it to us faster than ever before, seldom pausing to separate fact from fiction. And that's become a real problem, something that could very well be putting our democracy at risk.
Last year, the average American adult spent about 11 hours a day consuming media on their computers, television, or mobile device. That's a 20% increase from just a decade earlier.
We think news literacy is an essential skill in today's front information environment. It's really a life skill.
Alan Miller is the founder and CEO of the News Literacy Project. He started the nonprofit in 2008 to address concerns about the tsunami of sources of information that vary in credibility and accountability.
News literacy is the ability to evaluate all news and information and to discern credible information, to be able to sort fact from fiction.
A fact is defined as something known to be true. Opinion is a belief or judgment that rests on grounds insufficient to produce complete certainty. The main difference is that facts can be proven, whereas opinions cannot. A 2018 Pew Research study found that when presented with 5 factual and 5 statements of opinion, only 26% of adults were able to correctly recognize all 5 statements of fact. Just 35% were able to identify the statements that were opinions correctly.
We've got a perfect storm now that has created a situation where misinformation is an existential threat to the health of our democracy.
Miller says 1 in 5 newspapers have gone out of business in the last 15 years, while at the same time there's been an explosion of other sources of information.
Particularly online and through social media platforms that do not seek to inform in a fact-based, contextual, accountable way, but rather seek to persuade or exploit or misinform.
And he says therein lies the importance of news literacy. I'm Usher Qureshi reporting.
Prevalence of misinformation, the lasting impacts, how to identify it, and what we can all do to combat it. We'll also discuss the impact of misinformation in regard to COVID-19 and vaccines and the impact that's having on Montana doctors and hospitals. So I want to start out tonight by just asking everyone on the panel, do you think that we're in a crisis right now because of misinformation, and how serious would you say the situation is? Daryl, you want to start out?
Well, thanks. I'm glad that I got the first one. Absolutely, without a doubt. I think as the video mentioned, we are seeing fewer reliable sources and yet a great explosion of social media. And I think that is diluting good information and good sources.
Lee, how about you?
Well, I'm glad Daryl got that question first, but I think that, it's clear, I think, to everyone that misinformation is part of the modern media sort of ecosystem we all live in. I think the thing that's often challenging is when I talk with students or with folks about misinformation, they always see it as something that is affecting other people. That it's something where they often struggle to see their own either part in it, in contributing to it, or in sharing it. And so one of the things that I think is really hard for people to do is to check their own sort of like assumptions. And that is part of the challenge of sort of teaching people to be better consumers.
Ashley, you want to weigh in? Yeah, how serious do you think the situation is? Do you think we're in a crisis when it comes to misinformation?
Yeah, I don't know that I would use. Yeah, I mean, I would say that I couldn't tell you how serious it was, because it's a hard thing to gauge. But my biggest thing is that I think we have access to so much information that there's become a lack of reliance on experts who can go through and find all of your own mistakes and logical fallacies to say, this is kind of how this works. It's super easy to look at a data point and then use it to create an entire argument, which is, I think, a huge part of what is the problem right now, where you have a bunch of places to pull information and too many people who are unspecialized then interpreting that information and then putting those conclusions out into the digital universe.
Yeah, we're bombarded with so much information. We really don't have the traditional type of gatekeepers that we had before.
Well, and when you talk about gatekeeping, I mean, for years, when we talked about it, it was editors, producers who would choose what was going to be your nightly news rundown, right? Or would choose what would go on the front page of the paper. And now really it's our devices, and our devices are driven more by our previous behavior than what it thinks we ought to consume, right? It's not, and if we like news from a certain source, our devices know that and give us more of that information rather than information that might actually differ from the assumption we go into a story with.
Dr. Belsky, I'm sure you have seen plenty of this in the healthcare field.
Yes, I have. In the emergency department, we see this every day. We have patients come in and they're asking us, face to face, I hear this thing may help us with COVID. Is COVID even real? I read an article that said this isn't true. And so every day we're seeing this. So when you ask, is there a crisis? I can say 100%. Yes, there actively is. We see it every single day.
And we also want to make it clear, we don't think social media is bad by any means. It's just that, every new technology has consequences that are hard to predict when it first comes out. Daryl, you spent a lot of time traveling the state, talking about misinformation. How have you seen the news media world change with the advent of social media?
Well, I think it's a mixed blessing. We, most media, and we're the same that we're an online publication. We rely very heavily on Facebook or Twitter or social media apps. And in and of themselves, they're neutral. But I think, as Professor Banville said, they tend to feed us more of what we've already consumed, which can be dangerous. You're seeing people right now. I covered a story today with people talking about refusing to mask, even if they're called to jury duty. And so you're seeing many of these things that these weird political intersections that I don't think we could have fathomed 5, maybe even 10 years ago, where wearing a mask or wearing a mask for jury duty, if a judge had asked you that, seems reasonable. I can remember I've been a cops and courts reporter previously, and there were rules like no flip-flops, no t-shirts in the courtroom. And it seems like almost everything is being politicized or being objected to in one way or another, that really that it seems to be amplified and polarized on social media.
Ashley, I know you talked about this a little bit, but the fact that anyone now can publish and it goes out worldwide, it's not necessarily verified or credible. Talk a little bit about the challenges that is presenting nowadays for journalists. Lee, you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, I mean, I think the hardest thing is that a lot of the time you're proving a negative, right? So you're saying dead voters did not vote in this election. And it's an incredibly difficult thing to prove, because you're not proving something happened, you're proving something didn't happen. And so one of the most classic examples of trying to chase down one of these stories was when a random Twitter user uploaded a database of Michigan voters that he said were dead and had voted in the 2020 election. And my task was to go through it and find out not only is this claim correct? But then who is spreading this claim, and who is going through this database and doing the 2 steps that you need to do to see if they're still Michigan registered. And, the fun part of the story is calling someone on this list and saying, hi, are you alive? And them saying like, yes, I am. And I voted. And that's great. The tough thing is talking to like the kid from some California college who spent 2 seconds and took all of this information at face value and then said something to the effect of like, yeah, this is legit, and then retweeted it and shared it out. And it's hard to have a conversation with that person being like, I completely see how you did not think that this was going to damage anyone. I also see how you don't want to be talking to a news reporter about this because it exists in your digital life, which is completely separate from your day-to-day life. And so you get faced with, and then the challenge of, okay, now we write this story and we put it up and we say, we've done something really difficult and proven a negative. We've proven that at least some of the people on this list voted and are alive. But then the meta perception of journalists as being anti whatever you are, and any information that's going to pop your bubble being something you don't want to take in, then I think internally as a journalist, you also question yourself because you are trying to do the thing that these people don't, that normal everyday people don't have time to do, which is investigate what's going on in the world around them and present that in information that's easy to take in, and then give them the tools that they need to do to take other action in their life if they see fit.
We're starting to get some comments from some of our viewers. Robin in Bozeman is asking, who decides what is disinformation? Anyone want to weigh in on that?
Well, I think oftentimes the problem is disinformation is anything that isn't what you agree with. And that is, there are, you don't want to go, of course, I'm the professor, so I'm going to start to say things professorial, but like there are like psychological elements of our personality that like want to reject information that challenges our worldview. It's called cognitive dissonance. Mm-hmm. It's bad because what it means is that essentially we reject information that doesn't confirm what we already think. And what some of the research has pointed to is that actually the smarter we are, the worse we are at this, right? The more convinced we are we're correct, the less doubt we have. And so I think, one of the big challenges is there is no official policeman of information. And in America, the First Amendment tells us that we're never going to have an official police of information. And so we really do you have to be your own sort of fact checker. And to Ashley's point, there's another concept called the BS asymmetry principle, which is that it is so much easier to make misinformation than to fix it, because fixing it is exhausting. And you have to not only report on what was wrong, but you also have to find out what is right, and you have to find out how they got the wrong information. It's so much more work to counter bad information with good information. And when we have these other issues that really challenge our ability to react to good information, it's, I'm really glad I retired as a journalist, because I think that job is very hard these days.
I think that also one of the challenges we have in the media is we're a bit driftless, because at one time you could look to what we would call the traditional or the mainstream or legacy media, whether that was television, print, or radio. And there were barriers to enter that field such that you could, I think, more reliably trust what you heard from those news departments. But as we have seen a pullback of traditional or legacy media, I think nature abhors a vacuum, and information is the same way. And so we have to really start at a level that we haven't had to deal with in a long time, which is very basic media literacy. And when you start talking to people, when I'm out there and start talking to them about what sources do they trust, how do they know that's a good source, that people start absolutely kind of eyes glaze over when you start talking about civics, or about how do you trust this information versus that information, or this source versus that source. So we have to really kind of roll it back to talking about very basic media literacy. What is journalism? Who are trusted sources? And I don't know how we do that, because that seems a bit school marmish to a lot of people, to go back and kind of brush up on civics and ask, how do you know? And then you've also had the rise or the advent of someone like a citizen blogger, or you sometimes hear citizen journalists. And I think that there's really, really good things that can happen by people reporting what they saw or heard. But I also think that, folks like me went to school for years, and there is a rubric of training that we use in journalism, that we employ, that's really helpful. And I don't think we do this with other people. We don't have citizen surgeons or citizen electricians, yet it's okay to trust a citizen blogger or a citizen journalist. That raises some questions for me.
Well, Lee, you actually teach a course called Calling BS. And tell us a little bit about what you tell your students about how they can recognize BS.
Well, I mean, first it's to recognize their own bias in this conversation, right? That misinformation, that you can fall for misinformation just as much as anybody else, because of all the things that everyone has been talking about, the digital tools, the sort of vacuum around expertise. And so what I do is I try to kind of break it down so that when you see something on Facebook or Twitter, you see the data point that Ashley was talking about, that you take a second, just a couple seconds, and check it, right? And like click on the link, read the article. So many times when you see something on social media, it gets shared before anyone actually goes in and consumes it and thinks about it. I think it's one of the things I always point out to them is, social media is driven by there is no like thinking emoji on Facebook. They're all emotion, right? They make me laugh, they make me angry, they make me care, they make me love. And it's like that, it's all playing to the emotional reaction. And that is fine when you're talking about, pictures of grandkids. But when you're talking about like, medical information, like the doctor was discussing, you don't want to make emotional sort of medical decisions, right? That is where you want good information. And so there is that process of really taking a few minutes to vet it, because the thing is when you like it or when you share it, you are now part of that system that is producing misinformation, potentially, or sharing good information, right? So you are part of it. It is not just somebody, it's not just the news media. It's everybody who's producing this, consuming it, and sharing it. And so we are all kind of in it together.
I want to also ask the panel, just to get your thoughts. This isn't social media, but cable news, basically, in a lot of ways, has become opinion masquerading as news, whether it's the news outlets on the left or the right. How do you think this is contributing to the misinformation problem right now? Anyone want to weigh in on that?
I'm going to take a stab at it. I would say that one of the things that we need in media literacy is better definition of terms. I think that all journalists are part of the media, but not everybody in the media are journalists. And so when you talk about media, I think we need to be more precise. There are people in the media like myself or Ashley who get paid for going out and reporting on stories. But a lot of what people see on television or on late night sound bites are actually people commenting on news, not actually doing the reporting. They're more entertainment or opinion. And then that gets wrapped up into, oh, well, you're just part of the media. And so I think we need to, when we have criticism of the media, which is absolutely should happen, and it's the check that people have on us and on the power that we wield. And I think that we have to be a little bit more precise, because the job that I do does not look anything like hosting a cable news talk TV show. but we're lumped in the same categories often.
Yeah, and this is something that is like just straddling the cable news question and just what we've been talking about overall. But in that topic of defining terms, one thing that they were really, because I was funded by a grant for my election position, there was a couple things that I usually had to consistently hit in my article. And one of them was a definition of disinformation versus a definition of misinformation. Disinformation being, this is something that people are purposefully putting out into the ecosystem to confuse and to cause you to have doubt in an institution, your government, in your own reality. Misinformation is sort of the over umbrella term for anything incorrect that you read. So, misinformation can be shared as like a joke, and the person who's sharing it is aware. And so I think when you start thinking about cable news, you start to see how those definitions differ, where if you are on cable news, and you're putting out an opinion that even though it's an opinion show, is wrong, that becomes a different conversation of like, what is this person trying to influence, and kind of what are their values, and what can we see, and how are they connected into this broader world that I'm living in? Whereas, they might say something incorrect and then go back and correct it in the next show. I think that there isn't really a strong point that I have here beyond just like, that's a really important way to kind of frame as we have this conversation, that there are people who are intentionally spreading this information, and there are people who are just out there living their lives. And I think it becomes much clearer to see who those people are when they start getting paid to do the work that they're doing.
Okay, well, we want to show you another video right now. Of course, the COVID-19 pandemic has really put misinformation in the spotlight. And Andrea Lutz visited the Billings Clinic, which has seen the impacts of that firsthand.
And sometimes it's hard to know what is right and what is wrong. Well, misinformation seems to be completely prevalent now in the COVID-19 pandemic. And our local doctors find themselves fighting an uphill battle, trying to push scientific-based information to their patients while also looking out for their lives.
Inside the halls of the Billings Clinic Emergency Department, Dr. Jamie Belsky sees and hears it all.
I had someone come in the other day and they say, I still don't think COVID-19 is real. And I said, really? We've got 30 people in the hospital right now with COVID-19.
As she works to keep people flowing into the ER alive due to COVID, she's also battling misinformation.
There are going to be some people that are going to make up their own minds about how they want to do things and aren't going to listen to evidence because they've already got preconceived notions.
So she continues to try and turn her patients back to facts and science.
And the best place to remedy that is to really go on the sites that we know are scientific. Go to the ones that we know are evidence-based. So the CDC, the Center for Disease Control, the World Health Organization, those are people who are scientists. They've gone to years of school. Don't go with Susie Cousin's sister who said that this worked on her friend. Go with the people that actually are doing science properly, that use the right method, and so you can know that you're getting the correct information.
False rumors and conspiracy theories about COVID-19 and the pandemic can create serious and even deadly situations.
What I do is if I see a news story, I'm like, ooh, that sounds kind of different. I'm not sure if I believe that. I'll go to a reputable source and back it up and look it up. And there's other ways you can do this on social media, right? You can have your news app go to just reputable news sources and have those come up.
Belsky says social media is a hurdle and again pushes her patients to check their sources with websites she, as a skilled and educated physician, would use herself.
Go to the sites where it's actually evidence-based. Go to the sites that are actually scientific, so when you do your research, you're doing it the right way.
In Billings, Andrea Lutz, MTN News.
Well, Dr. Belsky, Susie's cousin's sister, presenting all kinds of problems, huh?
Yeah, she is. We hear very many different theories from people saying, oh, I heard for COVID you should drink warm milk and that's going to make you better. And I said, actually, that creates more congestion, can actually make you feel worse. The biggest disinformation we're seeing right now is people aren't sure what's going on. And there's a lot of different articles that are out there. And the thing to remember is just because you see one article doesn't make it correct. How you can look at things and how you can define disinformation is that article picked up by someone else and studied. So we have the vaccines, for instance. So a vaccine came out, we're going to study that rigorously, but it's not going to be done in just a single study in a single country. We're going to take this to Australia. We're going to take it to England. We're going to take it to New Zealand. We're going to test this on multiple people And if we get the same reproducible results every time, that's how you know that's true information and that is a fact. And that's what I see a lot with my patients is they're not sure if what they heard on a single news station or read in a single article is correct. So I encourage them, go to multiple sources. Don't just use one outlet. You've got TV, you've got internet, you still have hand delivered papers. Go to multiple sources. The biggest thing I hear right now is we don't think COVID is real and we don't think vaccines work. And I just want to say that that is a fact. Vaccines do work. Vaccines are safe. The best way I've heard to try to explain this to people is to look at vaccines like your own personal army. So your immune system is your army and it wants to fight the virus of COVID. So if you don't have a vaccine, technically your immune system sort of knows what to do. It's kind of like going to boot camp. It says, yes, I know I'm supposed to fight a virus. I know the theory. Now, if you actually want your immune system to be ready to go and fight that virus hard, you'd rather them go to training, right? Wouldn't you rather have SEAL Team 6 going after that virus rather than some guy who's on his first day in boot camp? And that's how I want people to view the vaccine. It's not going to prevent COVID, but it's going to get your body prepared to go into battle like a SEAL team. And so making sure that you understand the vaccine does work, it's not going to prevent it, but it's really going to help you fight it off.
How frustrating is that as a health professional? You base your treatments on facts, you base your treatments on science, and then to be dealing with that all the time, it's got to be pretty frustrating.
It's extremely frustrating. And the thing to remember about science, especially in facts, is science changes every day. That's the one thing that's consistent in medicine is ever changing. So people get upset sometimes and say, listen, I heard that this was working, but then that medicine, we're no longer giving it. What happened? Well, that's because we continue to study it and the virus mutated. So we had to stop using that medicine and change to something different. And it's okay for that to happen. That means that we're continuing to look at our evidence and continue to say what's happening. So it's normal for science to progress. How we treat somebody with a heart attack has changed in the last 15 to 20 years. Used to be we would watch them, maybe have them on bed rest. Now we're opening their hearts and their vessels up with performing procedures like putting in a cardiac stent. These are things that we've seen over time that have changed. You have a stroke. Used to be we would just say, we hope you get better. Now we're actually giving clot busting medications. Now we're even getting more advanced here and we're actually going in with wires and taking the clot physically out and helping to save lives and to improve people. So if you say, hey, medicine's changing all the time, that's great. That means we're constantly examining the evidence and updating our policies. So that gives me a lot of hope and outlook for the future.
Does this flood of information, or misinformation, I should say, does it scare you?
It does. It scares me sometimes that my patients are getting bad information and that they're trying to jump on things without fully reading them and understanding. And it causes a lot of hesitancy for some of our patients and some of my neighbors as well. I really get concerned that people aren't seeking treatment because they're just not sure. They've had so much media and so much information blasted at them. It's kind of like drinking from a fire hose. The information itself may not be complex, but the sheer volume of it trying to sort through is very difficult. And so I encourage them to reach out to their physicians, to reach out to their, if they have any family members that are in medicine, or to reach out to some of those sites we talked about. I've had a lot of people that aren't maybe very trusting perhaps of just a single entity, like, hey, maybe we're not sure about the government or something like that. So reach out to the World Health Organization. This is something that's completely outside of our control, that is done by an international body of scientists. They have a great website. They also go about a lot of misinformation. They have a myth-busting session just for common myths in COVID-19 that they address every day.
All right. Thank you, Dr. Belsky. I want to remind our viewers who are watching us on Roku or some of our streaming devices, we will be going to regular programming here in a minute, but you can stay here and tune in to the conversation on any of the MTN station's Facebook pages. All right. Misinformation is certainly presenting a lot of challenges for all of us, but we want to talk now about the impact it's having on future journalists. Is it turning people away from the profession? MTN's Jill Valley visited the University of Montana Journalism School, spoke with several students about that very topic.
I wanted to be a reporter since I was really young, watching the nightly news every evening. And that really never changed, even as the environment and circumstances got more difficult through the years.
Austin Amistoy is a senior who writes for the student newspaper The Kaiman, with hopes of a TV reporting job when he graduates. His professors trained him well about truth in reporting.
I think really the most important thing that we can bring to the job is just more transparency and a whole lot of trust, right? Like, and that will come if we're really transparent with our processes and methodologies. And that's something that I think I've been really well equipped to do here at UM, and something that I want to bring into the job after I graduate here, because I'm not ready to give up on journalism as we know it.
These young reporters have already experienced the immediate feedback to a news story via social media. Constructive criticism or questions are good. Personal attacks are not. Addie Slanger is the editor-in-chief of the Kaimin.
I can't even remember the story I was writing at the time, but someone on Twitter took a picture of my profile picture, a screenshot of it, and underneath the article that I posted said, "This is the journalist, so we have to take it with a grain of salt," or something. So simply just because I was, I guess, a girl laughing in her profile picture, I was getting some judgment from the reader, and I think it's simultaneously good to get used to that now, but it was a bit of a learning curve.
How do you stand your ground? You do it with diligence, and you do it with honesty.
For me, I just focus on really, knowing that my copy is clean and my facts are straight, and I've taken as much time as I can to get the story right. So when you can rest on your assurance that this is all correct, that's all you can do.
Most journalists are in this job because we're passionate about it, and these young students will enter the job market, whether it's broadcast or print, knowing full well the scrutiny they'll face. But they're also going to be facing a job that brings very long hours and often very little pay. Still, they're ready for that challenge.
I'm ready to take it on. I think that, one of the oldest ways that we've really latched onto for communicating what's important to us is telling stories. And if we lose the people who do that, if we lose the people who put in the time and effort to tell those stories truthfully and accurately, we lose a lot of important things. We lose a bit of our humanity, and we risk losing things like our democracy.
In Missoula, Jill Valley, MTN News.
And I think young journalists like that give us all hope that our future's in pretty good hands there. Lee, I want to ask you, since you teach there at UM, how difficult is it for young journalists today?
It's in a lot of ways, they're less, they're like Addie and Austin. They really are like, they kind of know it's a challenge. They know, they haven't watched the entire industry go through these sort of convulsions that sort of people who have my color hair have seen. And so they're kind of coming into it with this awareness that I certainly didn't have when I entered the field, of that personal scrutiny as well as that professional scrutiny. And I think, I think you said it. They're kind of, they give you hope, right? That's what makes it kind of easy to keep teaching them, is like we keep finding new voices, new students who bring us, news from communities we don't historically reach, like Native American communities, or even communities like Eastern Montana that just don't oftentimes get the kind of coverage they need. And so to be able to help them sort of shape those skills and then really put them out in the world so that they are experiencing it even as a student at a paper like the Kaimin has been kind of I don't know, life affirming is a little strong, but it certainly makes you hopeful that all the bleak predictions are not perhaps right.
One of the biggest changes in the years that I've been in journalism, which are quite a few now, is just that now with the emergence of social media, it feels like the deadline is always now. You don't sometimes have the time to really take a deep breath and think about things. How do you see that impacting the immediacy that is so much a part now of news gathering? How do you think that has changed journalism, and does that concern you at all?
It definitely is concerning, because it's really hard to have a well-edited story when the expectation is you've already live tweeted everything you've reported. And so it has, let's talk about the other elephant in the room, which is the economics of journalism have gone through a real rough patch. And so newsrooms are smaller, there are fewer editors, there are fewer reporters. And so what we see is sort of this, journalists, as Jill said, they come to work and they They want to tell the stories that affect their community. You know, they do it not because they think they're going to get rich doing it. They do it because they just feel like they have to do it. And so I think you know, the expectation of maintaining a social media presence, updating all these different platforms that frankly we're streaming on right now, and then also composing a completed piece at the end of your reporting project. That's a really complicated set of skills to have. And then you have, you know, immediate and sometimes mean interactions with members of the audience who judge every single thing you do, and if you screw anything up, are ready to jump. And so, you know, it's like I said, it's not an easy job, but it makes me respect the people like Ashley and Daryl who are going and doing it every day. Oh, and Russ, sorry.
Well, sometimes you don't want to read the comments, I can tell you that. Derek and Ashley, you want to weigh in on that?
Yeah, it's tough. And the deadline aspect of it, what I think is cool is that this is a double-edged sword, but there are so many new outlets coming up. So, you know, when I left journalism school, I felt the need that I was going to have to either go to one of like 5 papers in Montana or change my focus from print to broadcast or move out of the state. And the way that we, you know, we're kind of having a really exciting renaissance of journalism in Montana, at least for people who write in their medium. So, you know, the Montana Free Press is coming around. Daily Montanan, which is Daryl's outfit, is starting to pop up. There's Missoula Current here locally. There are lots of little digital startups that are trying to bridge the gap that's been created by all of these legacy medias constricting in size. And I think I saw something that was pretty consistent that, you know, for every 5 journalism jobs that you lose, you gain one new one right now, which is not a real stat. Don't quote that. It's just like you're not building as fast as you're taking down. But that's really, I think, something that's exciting. And then on the deadline side, you know, one thing that I think the Montana Free Press and the Daily Montana have both done really well is that they've shifted to thinking differently about producing news. And I think that there are those people who are doing what you do, Russ, which is, you know, bring the news every single day quickly, just giving people an idea of what's going on around them. And then there are these other outlets that are saying, kind of pushing that idea of being first to, well, no, like this is going to live for a lot longer on the internet. We're going to make it something really quality, and we're going to try to build that trust back that's been lost as, you know, smaller and smaller newsrooms have been able to cover less and less geographically. So, you know, I think that that's a really exciting thing, and especially exciting for Montana, which has been kind of becoming a news desert for so long in some areas.
Derek, how about you?
Well, I think I think that it is exciting, as Ashley put, and thank you for those those shameless plugs. I do appreciate it. But I think that while, for example, the Daily Montanan or the Free Press have more of a statewide coverage, I think that also calls attention to, we need good local journalism on all levels, both at the local and state and then national levels. I think it's just absolutely imperative. But I think what we teach and what I've been blessed to teach when I've been in the classroom is the urge to get it first can't be the first instinct. It's got to be to get it right. And I think that we've seen the damage done by, you know, again, a tweet that gets out there, correcting that or debunking it is, like Lee said, so much harder than just getting it right in the first place. And so I'm really excited to see kind of some new models emerging. And I think what we don't know is how sustainable will that be? Because when you look at different media around even the state of Montana, you go to most local, a town of any size, and the local newspaper is one of the oldest businesses in town. And when those start drying up or creating the news deserts, what I worry about is you're not just losing the jobs and you're not just losing a paper, but you're losing institutional knowledge in people who have been covering politics, government, local business for sometimes a century or more. And as much as I'm really excited about starting the Daily Montanan or seeing the free press prosper, I'm also worried about what happens when you lose those things in the community, because the Daily Montanan probably isn't going to be, and nor does it want to be, every single location's local news source covering every single school board, every single city council. So I think that it has to be complementary.
Yeah, and one point that I also would like to make is that in that as these areas become deserts and become vacuums of news, I'll give a shout out to Perry Baucus at the Ravalli Republic. He does an incredible job. He's been covering that community for years and years, and as his spread and area that he's able to cover with the staff that he has gets smaller and smaller, these disinformation outfits are finding those areas and they are making them something to focus on. One of my most probably startling moments in my life was when, or that's probably a little bit over dramatic, but it was shocking, I was in a low community center meeting and a woman and I got to chatting, and she asked me if the Epic Times was a reliable source of news. And I was like, no, they're not. Where did you hear about them? And she said that they had sent her a free copy directly to her house. And that's something that I've been consistently finding across Montana. Epic Times is expanding. They are someone I'm constantly just following because I'm so curious what they are going to do, because they have money to burn regardless of what the economics are. So it's a good thing to just remember that, these legacy places are still great places to go for information, and not everything that comes to your house in print. We've talked a lot about digital information, like this is coming in hard copy as well. So that's just an important thing to know.
Yeah, good point there. We're about to wrap things up, but before we go, I just want to ask everyone on the panel, if there's one thing that you hope the audience will take away from tonight, what is it?
I think there are really smart people who are working on this. And that's the thing I'm always most excited about, is when I get to talk to experts who have lived on the internet longer than I have, and who have, I made a comment to one of these people. He's a University of Michigan professor, and I said something like, I assume, as someone who's been on the internet long enough, assume that things are bad and that I'm going to interact with bad people and bad information. And he was like, don't do that. Don't assume that's how it's going to be. We're still in the infancy with this technology. And at the same time, another one of these experts said, don't think of it like the printing press, like sooner or later you just evolve naturally. We all have to take a lot of steps. There's a lot of work that needs to be done. But this isn't a given forever, and people are going to work at it, and people who are smarter than me are going to work at it, and try to make information better, and try to make sure that we are all consuming the right information so that we can make good decisions and base it on fact. So that always makes me really hopeful that there are people who genuinely don't see this as a baked in forever problem.
Dr. Belsky, any final thoughts from you?
I actually want to kind of go off of what Ashley said as well. I think this should actually make us very hopeful. This is something that we are consumers of and can help to propagate as well. So if you see a story and you say, hey, I'm going to check this out, and you check your sources, you can be the one that helps to elevate that story, that helps to bring it about. Or if you see a story and you check your sources and look at your other forms of media and say, you know what, I don't think the story is correct, then don't retweet that, then don't follow it. This shows us a lot right now that good people like us in very small ways can make a very big difference.
Derek?
I would say that while journalism has a specific training, that good journalists within their stories always show their work. So when you're reading something, ask, how do I know it? Or how does the author or the reporter know it? Because it should be evident from their citations, who they're quoting, or their basis. And if you can't see that, that's a red flag. So always ask yourself, how do they know?
And finally, Lee.
I was worried I was going to have some kind of insightful thing to say at the end. Well, I mean, first of all, I mean, what Ashley said is right. This thing is getting information all the time, you know, and never being able to escape it is really like 13 years old. That's when the iPhone came out. And so we are still really early in this conversation. But the one thing that I have sort of started to teach is that you can teach these tools, like the doctor was just saying, you can teach these tools to get you better information, but it's work, right? It's sort of like having a little like daily workout routine for your body. You also need one for your brain that includes going out and finding information from lots of different sources and really, to that point, elevating the good stuff, because you can become a trusted source of information. You're not the reporter, but you are the one who checks before you barf something onto Facebook, and that is a skill, and it's important. And I think it takes a little bit of self-discipline not to just sort of, you know, share that mean and misinformed, you know, meme that about some politician you hate, because you know, the internet's always watching you and sort of building its version of you, and so you can train it to go find good information, or you can sort of wallow in the worst. And I hope people strive to be like, it's my duty as a citizen to work at this, and not just let the lowest common denominator be the information flow that people get.
That's great advice. I want to thank all our panel for your time tonight. I hope this was enlightening to all of you who tuned in. And I just want to send you to a website where you can gain a lot of information. There are exercises there that you can do, and a lot of tools that can help you navigate the new world of information that we're living in. And that is the News Literacy Project. Their address is newslit.org. And again, I want to thank everyone for joining us tonight, and have a good night.
Hey.